recorder of man's deeds, the keeper of his conscience, the courier of his news, that we look for strength and assistance. Without debate, without criticism, no administration and no country can succeed, and no republic can survive.
All right.
What is up, Mikey?
What is going on, Patriots? And Scott, we got Scott here. What's going on? Live Patriots.
Just finally, after all these years, got to change my YouTube name. I found it to be difficult. Mike showed me in 25 seconds, so I should have been able to do this 3-4 years ago. But
You're looking at all the real detailed deep end spots in the heart of YouTube settings, but it's like right there. And I just only know that because I just did it with the backup channel.
yeah, I knew you had to hit the check. Usually it says save or something, but anyway, we're now can identify myself a little bit easier instead of my Legacy Manufacturing Solutions ID. That was the name of is the name of my first company. So glad that I'm actually a name that's easier to follow for you guys now.
Welcome all mods. I see some mods in the house. I see some members in the house, and I see lots of Patriots in the house. All of you are Patriots, but to the members, I see here, I'm going to be working on some individual memes for, I think some of you or some of the brackets are entitled to unique emojis. And I did enable super chat stickers. I don't know what that is, but I was clicked something, and it said it's now enabled when I started this stream, so I don't really know what that is. Stickers, but they're enabled. They're enabled.
More stuff.
Yeah, more swag. So, what is going on, Scott? What have you been...
It's getting to be my busy winter season. Furnace season's always a little bit. Heating season is a little bit slower usually than AC. People just put blankets on or plug in an electric heater, but they don't like to be sticky and hot. So I always try to say heating is always slower, but the last couple of weeks it's not been that way. Made that trip to Florida. I don't know if I touched on that a little bit. That was a blast. Somewhere just outside of Tampa. It was kind of neat. Unfortunately, flying over to Rhode Island tomorrow, if the weather's permitting, I hear they're getting nailed with a nor'easter, 10 or 12 inches of snow in the Boston, New York area. As of now, I guess we're still going. I haven't got an email. Going out there for some classes. But some devastating news in my local area. I'm going to see if I can hold myself together here. It's a tough time of year. It's like what I'm about to tell you is tough at any time, but for a family man around the holidays, this one's been pulling at my strings pretty hard. Been doing some deep praying and thinking. Gonna reach out to you guys. I don't know how to do it. I don't like asking for help. It's anyway. I'll just get right to it. A local single mom. For whatever reason, her recent struggles. I don't know personally how far back these struggles may go, but the gist of it is she's got 6 children, and she decided to exit life. And so now these kids are alone. Well, not alone. I guess there is some family. I can't go into details. I got my wife doing some homework, seeing how we can help. And I say we as in my wife and I and our family. One of the little girls is friends with our daughter, and this young lady's been over to the house. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I know her very well. My wife knows them better, obviously. I'm just the guy, the man that works and whatnot. But so this family's been devastated. These children are without a mother now. I don't know what we're going to do, Mike and I, if we can get some donations or whatever. We'll apply those funds directly to the family's immediate needs, and anything left over, I think I'm going to go make sure that they all have a way above average Christmas. And I'm doing that because not that it's going to take the sting out, but I feel I'm,
No, I would say if you can, maybe set up something that you can manage, and we'll like get a PayPal or something specific for that if you can. But setting that up, because I'll do the first to start it. I'll throw over an amount. We'll figure it out. But then other than that, we can link it, and we can do that if we can help. Whatever
I know
you guys can do.
They're trying to come up with a GoFundMe or whatever, and I hate GoFundMe.
Well, it works. I mean, it's a quick, or it's a way to get the process going. That's
believe
typical.
me, I'm not trying to headline it at all, but I prayed hard about it, and gosh, if you knew my wife, you would understand that if there was a way that we could take, or needed to, I don't know yet. We don't know all the details. Again, she's doing all the homework for us. If it was needed, I surely would try to take all 6 of them. Again, I don't want to jump to conclusions, but I do know that they lost their mother, and I can't imagine what kind of scenario or situation that is right now for them currently. So again, I'm going to make sure personally that they have one hell of a Christmas.
Very tragic.
If that's possible. So I didn't know what I wanted to say about it other than just give you the basics. But it led to other things, some deep thinking about what's a patriot, what's to be human. Man, life is too short, way too short. Think about it. If you're going through some hard times, you can reach out to Mike and I. There's got to be people out there that you could reach out to. Don't give up. I mean, we fight for our rights and our freedoms all the time, but don't ever give up on life.
And you got those kids at that point to think about. I mean, now there's, what would you say, 5?
6.
6 kids. That is.
I can't imagine.
Again, I knew I was giving you your time there to talk to the Patriots, and I should have been listening better, but I'm having all kinds of technical issues here with everything running. Yeah, well, this is jumbulating. Like, I'm going to need more RAM. I just got a new graphics card. That's great, but I got to get some RAM. Single mom. You said single mom.
Single mom of 6. They all go to they're in our local community. They're not far down the road from us. It's one of those things that I can't pretend to understand. Now I've had some dark days in my life, and I'm not going to say I never. I mean, everybody probably has had that moment where they're like, oh, I just want to, whatever. But before you ever get to that point, I beg you to pray, to reach out, to email, to knock on your neighbor's door. I mean, tell somebody that, hey, I'm struggling. God help those kids. I mean, I cannot imagine being. I mean, I'm a parent. I got my 5th one going to be due here any day now, a couple of weeks, and my 5-year-old son, my pride and joy, is turning 6 next week. I couldn't imagine leaving them and to not just to fend for themselves. I mean, ultimately, I guess that's what you're going to do if you leave this world, exit too early, if they're still young. But even you're not going to be there to mentor them, to teach them, to be there for them when they go through their hard times. So I again, I'm not a therapist or a counselor. I would just advise you to just never take the easy way out. And I know that sounds easy, maybe coming from me, but believe me, I've been in some dark spots. I'm not here to brag and boast, but I got through them, and I got through them because I had friends like Mike, and I had good parenting. Now, I know everybody don't, but don't think you're alone. There's got to be, I mean, walk into a damn restaurant and just, say something. I mean, nobody's ever going to be able to help you if you don't say something. We're not mind readers.
Yeah, and this time of the year is hard for people. For whatever reasons, we get it. We could look at statistics, probably pull them up and delve into those for the next hour. But we know it's hard. So, friends, family, if you got people like that in your life, I would suggest to all of you patriots out there listening today, check in on them extra. Maybe if you got the elderly grandma that's real lonely, and or a neighbor, just do the right thing. Check on the people that you know in your life that are in these situations, and you could probably use your best judgment on who you know. Give them that extra phone call, text, just see how they're doing. Check in on them. All right, that's all. That's all we're saying here. Yeah, tragic for the kids.
Anyway, it caused me to really just sit and think, and I was able to remember everything I was thinking about. I wanted to go over some definitions. I mean, this isn't a class, this isn't a school, but sometimes we need to look at the words that are important to us in our life, or should be important to our life, and read them out loud and make sure that we understand what the true definition is, and then take that out into the world and try to practice the definition. So my first one, ironically, is patriotism. What's the definition of patriotism? I know there's all kinds of different definitions, but one who loves and supports his or her country, also willing to stand up and defend her from herself within or from an enemy, almost like an oath that the military takes. And then I wrote down human or humane, showing compassion and benevolence. It's those two things, I guess everybody on our show, all of our listeners, including you and myself, patriotism is something we practice every day. But do we really practice humanity every day? I'm not sure that everybody remembers the true definition of what it means to be humane. Are we always compassionate? Probably not. I mean, I have a bitter bone in my body at times, but and then from there I took it to because I'm trying to make a little bit lighter of this conversation instead of trying to just that story is in the back of my head the last 24, 48 hours, and it's just chewing at me. So I said patriotism, humane. The next one was liberal, not making fun of liberals, just do you understand what the word liberal means? Open to new behavior or opinions and willing to discard traditional values. That's liberal. That's not democratic, that's liberal.
Yeah.
And then conservative.
These words have been sometimes
bastardized.
Yeah. Flipped, perverted, twisted.
If you're a liberal, you're nuts. I don't think so. Conservative holds to traditional values and attitude, and cautious about the change, typically in relation to politics and religion. So I mean, those four words, I encourage you to look them up. Make sure you read them. Make sure you understand them, so you're not caught wrongly in a conversation or a debate. And patriotism, human, and you look up human, it's going to say you're an upright walking Buddha.
Yeah.
So look at humane, what it is to be humane, and then look at liberal and conservative. And I think that'll probably, for those of you that really just maybe were like me and you don't go back to your dictionary enough, and I think you should always, I think it'll help you in your conversations and your understanding of your fellow man. I mean, I don't hate anybody. Well, rape, molesters and that sort I do. But to be liberal and to be conservative, that shouldn't make people's fangs come out, I guess. Or, oh my God, you voted for, just because you're liberal. There's liberal conservatives and there's conservative liberals. But I can understand the ideals behind all of them.
Well, it's the whole boxing and putting people into categories as well. That's always been, or putting yourself into one. Some people have. We know they're diehard people. By the time they leave at 18, they got a lot of things instilled sometimes from the family. And they'll go about life not learning anything new because they'll hold true to those. Yeah. Even though sometimes what was put into you. I mean, and people die for that. I get it. We're not trying to...
This situation happened in Indiana, and my understanding, I'm just answering a question that I just seen on the chat there. So it's in Indiana. It's severely close to home. It's my understanding, and again, without going into details, you'll never hear me, especially in real life situations like this. I'm not going to assume or jump to conclusions. I can only tell you what the facts are that I am aware of at the moment. There may or may not be some more facts that I'm going to share, because it's a very delicate situation. But I can tell you 6 children don't have a mom anymore. It's in the state of Indiana. I'm not a lawyer. I'm I'm understanding that there might be some help from the family, or there might be a family member, a dad or an uncle or somebody in the area. But 6 kids to take on,
normally this is where they end up in the system and things like that.
I will come back on the show and beg, borrow, and plead, and I will hit the ground locally to make sure. I would like to think that that's not going to happen, but then again, 6 is a big number. But
I want to follow follow up with you on that to see family or whatnot. You know, there's got hopefully some family come, like you said.
Mm-hmm. 6 is a big
Steps up. Yeah, no, that's a lot for one. I mean, even if they were unfortunately to get put into the system, then most likely not all 6 end up in the same place either. They get split up that way as well.
I prayed on it hard. We have 4. The 5th one's coming. Of course, the oldest is out, and she's a freshman in college. So now we'll be down to 4. We'll be down to 4 in the house. And again, some of you may know my wife. This is something I prayed real hard about, and if I insisted, she would go along with it. But I'm not saying that that's going to happen. But I won't. I don't think I could idly sit by and let 6 children be separated. I mean, they're used to that school system. It's a very small community. It's not like it's not like the city where they're just, you know. I think we can keep them together. But again, I don't know all the details, and I don't know all of the laws. What happens if? What does happen? If anybody has any opinions on it, I mean, are these 6 kids just alone now? I mean, how much time goes by? Who's taking care of them right now?
Yeah.
How does all that work? I mean, can somebody from the community jump in and say, "Hey, they're not going to a system"?
Yeah, no.
Do you
Normally,
even have
that's
rights?
not. Yeah, no.
Right.
Normally, you don't.
Boom.
Not
right.
some random citizen of the. You know, I'm the neighbor. I'll take them.
Right.
Nope. It's you know, if they're alone and there's not an immediate like father or family, they're gonna get put into the temporary care of the state, and that's how it starts immediately.
I sure hope that's not the case.
Man, we got a decent amount in here. Did you want to? I mean, it would really be nice, and I hate to do this. We can go a few more minutes here, but shut this one down, and I'm going to get a good restart on the computer, come back up, and it should be stable. We got everything kind of working here. Is that fine with you?
I don't. Yeah, whatever. I know we have some some.
Okay, well, this video is going to be its own there. We got all these comments coming. You guys leave more comments, and we will be back. We'll probably even touch base on it in the next thing, but I do got a thing here with articles we can kind of touch base. I know Scott had a little bit more things to get off his chest, and we want to give him that opportunity because it's not, you know, often that when he's in the area, so we're going to take advantage. So stick with us. We will be back. This feed's going to drop, and we'll be right back. So make sure you are subscribed so you get the alerts. If you're not getting the alerts, like a lot of people are telling me, hit that little, what is it, the bell?
Ring the bell.
Ring the bell.
Bell
and they've
tolls.
changed YouTube, so if you get in there to be like, you'll hit the bell, it'll come up and say, no alerts. And you're like, oh.
Right.
And you can hit something to make it alert you. So check that out right now in the next few minutes, and we'll be right back.
We ain't going nowhere.